Hello and welcome back to Grimrock Isle, where we just had a really lovely lunch, I'm sure, and we are now going back to the library, which is at page 88, or rather in entry 88. Is that a map? Okay. 88. And we checked local history and we checked out Lazarus Grimm. So now we're going to check the occult. For this, we're going to make a 30-minute library use roll. And at 54, we succeed and we go to entry 16. And entry 16 reads, you may now you may read handout GI 15. In GI 15, 13, G, 4, 10, 11, 12, 13, is missing. 14 and 15 are missing, which is not good. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okie dokie, so we're going to do something else instead. We're going to turn to other 120. An old worn copy of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow strikes your fancy and you spend a few minutes leafing through it. The placard on the inside cover informs you that this volume came from the private library of Geoffrey Thomas Ridley, a Doves Bay resident of the previous century. Oh, and here we are, 14, sorry. I had placed it over here, but that's fine. We're just going to note down that we found Sleepy Hollow, or a copy thereof, Sleepy Hollow. And there we can, and it was gifted to the library by Geoffrey Thomas Ridley. And we can do a spot hidden if we spend another 10 minutes. 63 is a hit. 145 is a hit, is a success. 145. There seems to be something jammed down into the binding of the book. A little pulling and tugging rewards you with a parchment bearing the information contained in handout GI 30. You may take this back with you to 88. Actually, did we get a research one for this one? No, we did not, but we get GI 30. And it reads, if ye seek to be rich, you come after me. Seek no further than the apple tree. In Thompson's orchard, tall and bold, a bolt of lightning guards the gold. Okay. If we want gold, we should go to Thompson's orchard and tall and bold, a bolt of lightning guards the gold. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, that's probably a red herring. So So we're going to put this back. And we're going to go back to 88 and do one more library use roll. And at 97 we fail. So we lose half an hour for nothing. So it's now 2:45 p.m. And we cannot go back, so we need to go back to the library the next day, which would be the 2nd of August. I'm just going to make a note of August. Library occult. Okay, good. So, when is food again in the evening? Because we have to eat, otherwise we'll probably die. Mrs. Gordon's boarding house, 77. She provides food. Oh, I forgot to do the event thingy. So I'm just going to make a note of this as well. Food is at 8 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. food. And we need to spend 1 hour. And we need to roll the event table. 1d6 on a 1. Go to 200. And what we need to do is we also, in the morning, and when is breakfast again? Breakfast is at 8 a.m., so I'm going to put this down here. 8 a.m. is breakfast. For 1 hour. Breakfast. Good. Okay, so it is now 2:45 p.m. We could totally go to the city hall. And now it's 3, so we arrive. It's open until 5, so let's check 96. The City Hall. The legal records of Doves Bay are well ordered and reasonably well preserved, dating back well beyond the 1840s. For every half hour you spend here searching through the town records, you may make a library use roll up to a total of 6 rolls. For each roll you make, consult the entry for which you made the roll, and then return here for further research. You may return at another time to try the rolls you missed, but you cannot make the same roll twice during the same visit. If you know the name Geoffrey Thomas Ridley, we do, and would like to learn something about him, another successful library use will send you to 116. So we're going to do the Geoffrey Thomas Ridley one first. And at 09 we impale it. Unfortunately, there are no gradations here, so you can only just get a success or a miss. So it's now 3:30, and we're going to go to 116. And we learn you may read a handout GI 28. Magistrates' Report. In this year of our Lord, 1799, the Constabulary of Doves Bay did apprehend the murderous highwayman who has been preying upon unwary travellers in our area for the past 3 years. When apprehended, it was revealed that the masked rogue was none other than Geoffrey Thomas Ridley. Okay, Geoffrey Thomas Ridley is a highwayman. That's interesting, and I'm not sure if we saw that coming. Okay, so we're just going to take a note. was a highwayman, and he was apprehended in 1799. It would appear that Mr. Ridley had attained his fortune through the robbery and murder of no less than 13 unfortunates who chanced to be travelling to or from Dove's Bay in the late hours. I have to say, the proofreading of this is appalling. When finally brought to justice, Mr. Ridley did fall into such a state of blind and blasphemous rage that it was necessary for him to be restrained during his trial, and even then he shouted obscene imprecations at the court and all who attended, until at last it became necessary to gag him as well. Due to the violent nature of his crimes, and taking into account Mr. Ridley's obvious unrepentance, it was the verdict of this court that the defendant be executed by beheading, his body and head buried separately and both in unhallowed ground. This was done both to serve justice and to assuage the fears of certain townsfolk that Mr. Ridley was in some manner in league with the forces of darkness. Sentence was carried out the next morning, and the defendant remained defiant and abusive, cursing the town and swearing that he would one day return to exact a terrible revenge. You don't understand. It was a horseman. He was headless. November 2nd, 1799. Okay, so this, of course, is a joke, because we all know that obviously the headless horseman is a Hessian soldier, and we also saw Christopher Walken and Miranda Richardson, and we all know what happened in the end. He went back to hell and took the witch with him. So, oh look, this is bigger than A4, it doesn't fit. That's a pity. Okay, so that's that. So we will return to the town hall records, city hall records, and we're going to roll again, and we're going to roll 17, and we're going to go to 54. So we're just going to take them in turn and spend another 30 minutes. And then it's 4 o'clock. 54. When do they finish? They close at 5, so we can do 2 more checks. 54. You may read handout GI6 and gain 5 research points. GI6. You have uncovered a dusty packet containing copies of a dozen contracts dated 1841 to 1843, signed by Lazarus Grimm and various local craftsmen. All are quite clearly for the construction of Grimm House. So we find various contracts between 1841 and 43, between Lazarus and various tradesmen for the construction of the house, in capital letters. Okay. And now we are going to do another roll. 99, that's a failure, so we cannot do this one. So we're going to do one more, but we spent 30 minutes on this one, so we can do one more. And that was a 94 as well. So these ones we failed. and they close. So now we could go to the Seaside Tavern. It opens at 4 p.m. and maybe we will find somebody we can talk to. 24. Seaside Tavern. This little rough... sorry, we have to spend 15 minutes to walk here. So it's now 15:15. Seaside Tavern. This little rough clapboard structure houses an equally rough collection of Doves Bay residents. Meals are 75 cents, beverages 25 cents, and coffee 10 cents a cup. The waitress will ask you if you'd like a piece of apple pie. If you do, you're served at 72. If not, go on to 91. We're not supposed to eat the pie, so we're just going to go on to 91 because we're also going to have dinner in about half an hour. What's your pleasure? Will you join the 4 ruffians playing cards? I think not. Go to the bar and try to strike up a conversation, or simply sit and observe at 60. You may attempt each action only once per visit. I'm actually going to sit down and observe. Because I am new, this is my first day. A man seated in the shadows draws your attention because of the bright red cap he is wearing. Do a spot hidden. Oops. And at a 51, I believe we succeed. Do we? Spot hidden is 85. Yes, we do win. And we spend 15 minutes on this action. And this is not Cthulhu, by the way. This is Krümel. He's my cat. We get 1 research point, which is brilliant. 1. Meow. Yeah. Yes, life is so tough when you're a kitty cat. Though you cannot see his features, you are certain the man has been watching you. Whoever this fellow is, he has realized that he's been found out and makes for the door. You can follow him out to 43 or do something else. Do let's. Yes. Ja, Krümel, du musst da kurz weggehen. Du sitzt nämlich mitten auf meinem Papier. Geh mal da runter. Schuschu, komm. Ja. Ja. That's not what I wanted, but that's fine. Yeah. 43. Let's see what we see. Furtive footsteps behind you. You whirl about to see a dark figure vanish behind a stack of lobster traps. You investigate, but your unwelcome shadow is nowhere to be seen. Spot hidden. 92. We are completely oblivious. We see a black cat, and it's sitting in the... we spent another 15 minutes. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our boarding house for dinner, because obviously we've paid for it and we also need to eat. Let's see what we roll. We rolled a 5, so nothing happened, so we have dinner. And it's August, so it will be really bright outside. And I would suggest that we go to the church, because it's open 24/7. Doves Bay Church. If you are visiting, enter at 98. If you require sanctuary, seek it at 48. No, we're just here to visit. Sanctuary, oh my god. 98. Father McFarlane offers you a warm welcome and any assistance he's capable of giving. You may do one of the following per visit. Ask the good father about Grimhouse, or ask the father's blessing at 19. Let's ask him about the Grimhouse. 3. Sorry, do we spend time for this? Yes. 15 minutes. So we're talking to the priest. We spent 15 minutes coming here, and now it's 7:30. So we're going to ask him about Grimhouse. The father's cheerful expression clouds. I'm afraid I can't help you there. I know very little about the place or the people who lived there. Well, that was a barrel of laughs. Oh, we can do a psychology roll. Aha. Well, 0.5 is our base. Yeah, 84. We know nothing. And failure takes us to 73. You may now proceed to any of Dove's Bay's locations. I feel like we want to go to the cemetery. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, by the way, I'm carrying my gun. So, what I'm unsure about is they mentioned the deadline a couple of times. If you arrive before, if you do this before the deadline, if you do this after the deadline, I haven't found any information on a deadline. So I don't know, because it does say you require 14 of these. Does it mean I've got 14 days? Okay, I just assume I've got 14 days. Okay, let's check. Let's go to the Bleakmore Cemetery. Bleakmore Cemetery is a grim and forlorn place in the fading light of day. From the rusting main gate, the graveyard looks to be deserted, save for its eternal residents, of course. At the very center of this necropolis crouches a hulking and impressively wrought granite crypt at 96, while off to the right is a small stand of ancient gnarled oaks, 74, beneath whose boughs lurks an impenetrable gloom. Okay, we can do a listen check, which we will do. Let's see what our listen is. Probably just bass. Yes, 25. And at 44 we hear nothing. However, we can also... Oh, sorry. That was stupid. I should have checked. Oh, I could also do a spot hidden. So I'm going to re-roll because, you know... And on a 4, I totally nailed that. And I would have taken the spot hidden even at the 44. And we're going to spend 15 minutes on this. And we go to 57. 57. With your keen eye, you notice that many of the graves around you have been curiously disturbed. Several gravestones lie in the deep grass, obviously pushed over, while others stand at drunken, crazy angles, which could not have been naturally caused. The soil on a number of the newer graves near the gate look freshly tilled, though clearly grass should have been growing on them by this time. Return to 1 and decide your next move. We get 3 research points for this, and we go back to 1, and we spend no time. I would say we go to the crypt at 96. The crypt is even more elaborate than you had first suspected. Its intricately carved bronze door bearing the name Wattles. Strangely, the door of the mausoleum is slightly ajar, opening inward soundlessly with even the slightest push. This time, we're going to do a spot hidden instead of even trying the listen roll. And at 44, we make it. We go to 31, and this cost us 15 minutes and gives us 1 research point. So we're going to go to 31, and 31 tells us what? 31 tells us that you discover a number of strange scratches etched into the hard, weather-beaten stone. Strange, because there is nothing present here which could possibly have made them. 2 research points. Return to 96 to act upon what you have learned. Okay. We can either enter the crypt, explore the oak grove, or wait here at 37 to see what develops. I'm going to wait and see if something happens. I mean, we've seen the scratches, and I don't know what this could be. After waiting for an hour, it becomes clear that nothing more is going to happen in this place. You may move on to 73M. So it's now 9:15. The total darkness of the tomb is only partially dispelled by your light. Deep shadows lurk in every corner and in the deep niches between gilded bas-reliefs decorating the walls. A marble sarcophagus occupies the center of the tomb, and on the end, which faces you, there is a plaque which reads Jerome Wattles, 1805 to 1845. So we're just going to take this down. Jerome Wattles, 1805 to 1845. We're going to do a spot hidden. And at 41 we pass, and the success takes us to 27. Caught in the seam between the cover slab and the body of the sarcophagus is a tattered piece of rotting cloth. It is held in the seam so tightly that you cannot pull it free. You may investigate this further at 59 or do a luck roll. My luck is 75. I'm going to investigate this further. Why would I try a luck roll? And it takes 15 minutes to do so. Brings us up to 1930. 9:30, and it gives us 3 research points. 59. To move the slab, match your strength against the slab's strength of 20 on the resistance table. You may make this roll once every 15 minutes for as long as you desire. If and when you succeed, you will discover 5. If you failed and give up, you may leave for 73M. Okay, so resistance table. How I hate this, but it has to be done. I don't think my strength is 11. Its strength is 20. 11 versus 20. I need a No, that's wrong. 11 versus 20. I need a 0.5. Okay, we can try this, but we're only going to try this once. And we roll a 20, so that was, how much time did we have to spend on this? Da-dup. 73M. $59. 15 minutes. No, I mean, this is, yeah, we're not going to continue doing this. We're going to go back to 73M. And I don't understand why it says 73M, because there's no 73M, it's just 73. So we're going to go back to the entrance, and we're going to do one more thing, and that is we are going to go to the gnarled oaks at 74. The grove is dark and silent, twisted roots snaking across the earth as though attempting to block your progress. Do a spot hidden. 58, we pass. Success takes you to 75. You progress cautiously through the tangle of intertwined roots, peering suspiciously into the shadows which surround you. You can listen. 0.5. We totally hear what's going on, but it took us 5 minutes. So it's now 9:50. Success takes us to 55. The snapping of a twig warns you that you are not alone here. Will you confront your unknown companion at 3 or continue about your business at 17? Oh, we're going to, whatever we do, we need to find out who this is. We will confront our whoever, our companion. Let's see. Luck. 0.4. We are very lucky indeed, because our luck is actually 75, so that would be a critical, that's a critical success. 29. Don't come any closer, warns a voice from the bushes. You're looking into the history of Grim House. Don't go out there if you know what's good for you. He's out there waiting for you, and he'll get you if you go out there. Okay, that's okay. We spend another 5 minutes, and we have to make another luck roll. And 67 is still a pass, and we go to 51. He ain't never died, you understand? Your hidden informant continues. He got plans. Plans don't include dying, and he'll gobble you up. He'll gobble up your soul to stay as he is. You've been warned. There is a rustling in the bushes, and the silence which follows informs you that this interview is over. You may now proceed to 12. That's interesting, because, I mean, this should be common knowledge. This guy died in a house fire in 1846, and yet 22 years later, somebody accuses him of witchcraft, and nobody finds that funny. We need to go back to 12. Do you wish to investigate the crypt, or would you rather take your leave of this aged necropolis and seek the relative comforts of town at 73M? What is 73M? It doesn't exist. Or is 73M in the main manual? Let's check. Is this a thing? No, it's not a 73M. Or unless, of course, you can say, you may now proceed to any Dove's Bay location. I guess whenever I went to 73M, I should have actually then spent time, but that's fine. We're just going to add an hour to all of this. 11, let's say it's now 11. And then we're going to go back to our landlady. We roll a 3, nothing happens. And then we spend the night because we need to get 6 hours of sleep. And then it's an 8 a.m. start the next day with a good breakfast, good and hearty breakfast. And it is Tuesday, the 2nd of August. What we are going to do is we are going to get ourselves a packed lunch, and this is what I will rule because it says you have to eat every 8 hours. Now, going to the island takes us 1 hour, coming back takes us 2 hours. So I am going to bring a packed lunch. And plenty of water just in case I can't get back. So a liter of water, 2 liters of water easily, and a good packed lunch. Then we're going to go to 76 to cross to the island because we can go there with by boat, and we have been invited to do so when we spoke to the guy who has the boat rental, and he said if we're ready to cross, just go to 76. The crossing will take half an hour. Oh, only half an hour. During this time, you may try to start up a conversation with your taciturn boatman. "30 minutes. So it would take us 9:15 to get there. No, actually 30 minutes. It's just like this. Okay. So, well, we can try fast talk, although that's not one of our strengths, is it? Fast talk, 05. It's not going to happen. No. 231. You stand for a pensive moment, watching Enos Wade's boat dwindle into the distance before turning to walk gingerly up the slippery island dock. Walking along that slimy, slick platform, you become acutely aware of a cloying air of evil which grips the isle. The gloom beneath the gnarled pines seems unaccountably dark, and you can barely make out the nearby forking of the path. The left fork will take you to 252, while the right fork wends its way to 300. Okay, so first of all, we get research points for this. On our first day, let's see how much we got there. We got 20, 25, 35, 40, 50, 50, 60, 65 on the first day. On the second day, we start out with 1. And we have 2 possibilities. We can go left, which is going to take us 5 minutes, or we can go right. Let's go left. Always left. 252. As you pass beneath the curiously deformed pines, the oppressive darkness closes in upon you, seeming to crush the very breath from your lungs. Spot hidden. 04. We spot every hidden. 5 minutes. And we go to 273. As you walk, you notice that the limbs of the pine trees are swaying suggestively in the breeze, but then you realize there is no breeze. That's where we lose 5 minutes and we make a sanity roll, the first one of the game. And our sanity is 75. 63, we're fine. 293. It's just a trick of the light. It will take you 1d6 rounds to run this dangerous path, and for each round you will sustain 1d2 points of damage from the lashing branches unless you can make a successful dodge roll for each attack. Okay, whoops, if you survive, oh my word. Okay, so let's do the 1d6 rounds. 1 round, okay. And we will sustain 1d2 points of damage from a lash unless we do a dodge roll. Dodge. What's that dodge? 26. Yes. Oh, 0-2. Well, that's brilliant. Okay, so we're fine. If we survive, you will break through at 226. That took us 10 minutes. So it's now 10 o'clock. 226. Quite abruptly, you are free of the forbidden pines. You stand uneasily at the edge of a large clearing at the very heart of Grimrock Isle. And before you stands Grim House, a looming, malignant Gothic hulk of oak and granite, a place which knows nothing of human happiness but much of terror and death. Now that's a... This would be where you need Pimp My House. But much of terror and death. The man seems to glare at you, challenging you to enter. Will you accept the challenge at 247 or explore the rest of the island at 394? Well, I think I would like to see the rest of the island first. And this decision takes us 10 minutes. So we will go to... We'll get 3 research points for this as well. 394. We can always go into the house because we've got 14 days. 394. From this clearing, you can take the trail at 387 or the path, which seems to be heading inland 378. 5 minutes. 378. After a 5-minute walk, you step into a small clearing with a decrepit-looking well at its center. You may examine the well or continue along the path. Of course, we'll examine the well. 354. Spot hidden. 68. Yes, we do spot the hidden. 383. Sanity. Oh, 10, we pass, but we lose 1 sanity. We're now at 74. As you peer down into the well, you see something slick and black and malign coursing up the well shaft towards you. Throwing yourself backward away from the hellish sight, you cast about for an escape route. 2 paths present themselves to you. The trail at 299 or the trail to 300. 299, 5 research points. Whatever was that thing? 299. The gloom beneath the pines deepens as you progress, and you feel as if you were being observed by hostile eyes. Let's make a luck check. 55, we pass, because our luck is 75. 109 is our success. 109. As you look up along the path, your eyes are drawn to the uppermost floor of the manse, which can just be seen over the crest of the pines. There is a light glowing in a window there, an eerie, unnatural illumination in a house that has been deserted for several years. We need to make a spot hidden. 46 we pass, but we also spend 5 minutes. 334. There is a dark figure silhouetted by the ghost light, a menacing hostile presence, alive with hatred and greedily awaiting your arrival. You blink and the vision is gone. You begin to breathe again, moving resolutely up the path. We spend 5 minutes. We get 5 research points. And we go to 109. We would go to 109 if my cat didn't decide that now is the time for some lap time. So, yes. I'm really liking this, so we now need to go to 109. I'm just going to make a note here. And this has already been 45 minutes. So I think this is now a good place to stop for the time being. And we will keep going. So far I'm enjoying this quite a lot, and a lot more than the other two. But that could also be because at the moment it's not as, dare I say it, Cthulhu-esque. It's more of a storytelling game. And by the way, just in case you hadn't been following my other videos, if you like Call of Cthulhu, there is a very, very good YouTube channel called Into the Darkness, where you have video-based, Google Hangout-based RPGs, Call of Cthulhu and Delta Green. And I can really recommend the channel. It's amazing. They've got so many really, really good adventures. Most of them are published adventures. They're even doing a horror on the Orient Express and a Beyond the Mountains of Madness, which is amazing. I mean, I don't like either of. I don't like the horror on the Orient Express, because in the, of course, completely railroady. I mean, yeah, they are on a railroad, so it's the ultimate railroady experience. But I still enjoy watching people play this one, although it's one of the ones that I would not want to play myself because it does get quite boring. But if you have a good group and there's a lot of interaction going on, it's actually a really nice scenario. But they also have a couple of Delta Greens. They also have a couple of homebrews. They have a couple of the newer ones. Some of them are definitely adult content. Anything from Things That We Leave Behind is adult content, but they are really, really good, and most of the players are fantastic, and the sound quality is also very, very good, considering that they have people joining from all over the globe, and sometimes the internet can be a bit tricky. I really enjoy their playthroughs, so go check them out. They don't do solo because obviously they have a group, but in the absence of a group that I can film, I will have to continue with my solo exploits. So far, I'm really enjoying this. The production quality of this is actually quite good. I can't even remember how much I paid, but I wish that they had spent some more time on the proofreading. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.